First and foremost, Mercury in retrograde is very real. You guys have no idea how many times I've had to record videos, how many times I've tried to, and they freeze up, they stop, the sound goes out. I have to re-record them. It's been happening for 2 days now, since the full moon. The struggle's real. However, Merry Imbolc! Today is Imbolc. And, or as I called it when I was first starting out, Imbolc, because I did not know that the B was silent. But I think pronunciations on things really don't matter. Intent matters. However, so, Imbolc. Merry Imbolc. And as you probably know, Imbolc is typically a day where we celebrate we can now see the ending of winter and the coming of spring. It's in sight now, which a lot of people get excited for. I do not. I don't like spring because of allergies and because it's just too bright. Too bright outside. It's too bright. So Imbolc traditionally in the Irish Celtic traditions was all about bride or breed or Brigid or Brigid. I know a lot of people usually call her just Brigid or Brigid, but I call her Bride. So, Bride is an amazing goddess. I had the immense joy of getting to channel her several times over the years, and she's really cool. She is that mother, grandmother, auntie energy, in my opinion. A lot of people work with her in 3 phases, which is very interesting. As a maiden, mother, or crone, I typically see her just as a crone or as a mother. I've never really worked with her as a maiden. That would be wild and interesting for me. But typically I just see her as like a in-between mother and crone phase of her life. And she's so warm and wonderful and great. So what I think is really cool about her is that she resides over things that are typically male and things that seem to oppose her gender or oppose the other attributes that she has. So like poetry and blacksmithing, fire and water, healing. She's a phenomenal goddess. And as I talked about in my last video before the Dagda video I just put out, which I hope you go watch, she's now in a modern context seen as the goddess of technology. And that's fascinating and so cool. So today is really a great day to venerate her, to work with her, to contact her if you want any kind of healing magic done, inspirational magic if you're a writer. Work with her, to contact her. Blacksmithing, fire energy, water energy. Bride is amazing. Amazing. She's such a well-rounded goddess in my opinion. She's phenomenal. Anyway, that's enough of me being like, oh, bride. Anywho, if you didn't want to just go with the Irish Celtic view of Imbolc, you could look at the Welsh Celts. And the Welsh Celts attributed this day to Cailleach, or Cailleach, or Cailleach, or Cailleach. She's got a lot of pronunciations of her name. The modern day, I think, pronunciation, if I'm correct, is Cailleach. And so Cailleach is a fascinating deity because she can be associated with Baba Yaga, or Baba Yaga, who is spooky. She can be associated with Morgan Le Fay, or the Morgan, and she's a really cool goddess. While Bride is very much a light goddess, I would say Cailleach is a dark goddess. So that's a cool juxtaposition for you there. I think with the Welsh, I think it's interesting that we kind of see the beginnings of what we call Groundhog Day here. Whereas they believed that Cailleach would come out in the form of a bird and gather sticks to build a fire to last her for the rest of winter. Also, if the lighting is changing for you, I apologize. The weather here today is very overcast. And it's like sun, cloud, sun, cloud, sun, cloud. Anywho, Cailleach, she is fascinating in that regard to me because of the juxtaposition to Bride. putting two very different goddesses on the same holiday. But yeah, so she would come out and gather these sticks to preserve for the rest of winter. But also with the Groundhog Association, the Welsh are credited with coming up with this poem, which is really cool, about seeing a snake or sometimes a badger, but usually a snake, come out of its hole to see if it's like ready to come out, and if not, it went back in, and that meant, you know, we'd get more winter. But if it stayed out, then spring was coming soon, which is much like our Groundhog Day. Fascinating. I think a fun thing to do on Imbolc is, of course, to do any kind of work with fire, writing your own poem, writing manifestations and burning them, offering to the fire, offering them to a cauldron of water. I really like doing that rather than burning my intention. I like to soak it in water. You can work with Bride in a lot of ways. You can honor Bride in a lot of ways. In my experience, Bride really likes offerings of milk and cream and honey. Cakes, very light cakes. But I mean, I find her to be like the Dagda. She's so gracious and warm and welcoming that you can offer her anything, and she's going to be like, "Thank you so much for this bag of Doritos. I appreciate it." Like, it can really. She's in my experience such a kind, warm, loving being, without judgments. Like, she's phenomenal. So that was Imbolc. I really just wanted to come on here and be like, "Hey, yay, happy Imbolc." But I knew I'd probably ramble on just because that's who I am. And if you've come to this channel and you've stayed on this channel, you know that's who I am. So, happy Imbolc. Go celebrate. There's tons of ways you can do it. Oh, also, fascinating, Candlemas, Catholic holiday, is the day after, so it's tomorrow as the day of this recording, and is devoted to the Mother Mary, and is all about lighting candles. And I just think that's fascinating because I feel like they tried to hijack her holiday. But anywho, Bride's holiday. But yeah, there is a Catholic version of Bride, or Brigid, Saint Brigid, which is interesting. You know, she's credited with having that fire that has never gone out and a well that's never emptied in Ireland that you can go visit, from my understanding. Anywho, now I really am rambling. However, there's one more thing I wanted to add. Let me look it up. There is a really clever way I saw of celebrating that I had never thought about before. Here it is. So, of course, we have like the corn dollies that you can make. The bride's cross. You've probably seen Brigid's cross. It's that like off-kilter cross made from like a square. And like you make it with hay or whatever. But one thing I saw today, which I thought was really cool, is you burn a fire, you let the fire consume itself, meaning let it burn down to its ashes, and then in the morning, so I guess tomorrow morning, or I guess you could have done it last night, you smooth out the ashes, although I probably would not touch the ashes, and then you look at the ashes, this is why I wouldn't touch them, and you divine it from those ashes. You get a message from looking at the shape of them, the shapes that they've made, the images you see in the ashes. I think that's really cool. And I really want to try that because I've never heard of that. And that's really, really neat to me. Anywho, happy Imbolc. Go celebrate, eat food, eat warm comfort foods because it's winter time. Light a candle, pour some water in a cauldron. Sing a song. Enjoy the coziness of winter. And look forward to the return of animals and plants very soon. Happy Imbolc. Have a really great day. Bye, you guys.